Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another YouTube video. I've got 4 high ticket closers and setters with me today, and all of them are Australian but one, so we've got one New Zealander here. And I wanted to just come and have a bit of a podcast style type interview, considering they're all based in Dubai and we're all in person, and 2 of them are clients. I've worked with one of them in a consulting called Capacity, and one of them is a brother of one of my clients, Shay. So open conversation, we're going to keep it relatively free flow. I think a lot of you guys will get value from seeing what guys are doing in the space right now, especially since every single person here is quite young. So I think it'd be quite a cool piece of content. So we've got this mic that we'll just basically throw around for when people want to talk. But I think what most people want to know, just starting off, is what's your name, how much do you make, where you're from, and how old are you?
Let's do it. Name's Jackson. I'm born and raised in New Zealand. I've travelled around, lived in like Asia and stuff a bit. But yeah, all 4 of us boys, we all work on the same company. I'm setting at the moment, and I'm doing about 10K a month, just like a little bit under, sometimes around like 8 or 9, but in and around that range.
Yo, name's Navid. From Sydney, Australia, born and raised. With all the boys here from the same offer, been crushing it. Here with the man Connor as well, long time in the making.
Yeah.
Comms are at 24K a month. Shooting for double, triple, quadruple. So ready to crush, man. Big future coming.
Cool.
Yo, name's Kashi. Started off in the high ticket sales space a year and a half ago, thanks to big man Connor. Was doing 35 to 40K, now on the same offer with these boys for the last 3 months. So yeah, all killers, all young. When it comes to Dubai, it was a surreal experience, which we'll get to.
Did you mention you were 19?
And I'm 19.
Yeah.
You're 17, bro, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, sup boys, my name's Alfonso, I'm 21. Oh, actually I'm 22. It's my birthday the other day. But I've been making 30K the past few months. I was from Perth. I'm originally from the Philippines, but I moved to Perth when I was young. Met him before as well. But yeah, just been in sales and marketing.
Sweet. I mean, we'll keep the mic here if you guys want to grab it. But I suppose, like, you guys are all really young. You're making lots of money. What is it like traveling to the other side of the world in Dubai, and especially going to the event that you guys went to in Bali with the founder Lockie that you guys work with?
What are your thoughts, bro? Been travelling the longest.
Yeah, I know. I think it's been really good. Like, cause I lived in Perth my whole life. I did traveling, but when I was younger, not really too much. When I was an adult, but when you go traveling as an adult and like you can work, not have to worry about necessarily money or just like having to be at a physical location, it really changes things. It's just such a different lifestyle. And the best part of it is you get to travel with like people you're like-minded with, like guys on my team. I think it's way more like fulfilling and way more fun if it's like guys you're working on the same mission with, or like just like-minded guys in general.
Yeah. Really free flow, guys. Like, whatever you guys think. Don't have to pass all the way around.
Yeah, no, 100%. Traveling, like, I reckon it just opens your eyes. Like, like for example, in Dubai, I got a completely different thought on where I want to go with my business or where I want to go with sales and high ticket sales than when I was in Bali. Bali was a lot more free flowing and like the fun side, to be honest. And I felt like when I came to Dubai, it was very different to when I was around Asia. But yeah, meeting Lockie, meeting the founders, meeting people that make, over 7 figures a year. It's, you can definitely sense it, that they make 7 figures. I think it's just the aura, to be honest.
The aura is crazy.
It is a dumb hustler.
No, I reckon the best part is like, it's obviously like going to the places, but it's just being around people that have the same mindset as you. Like obviously like we all have like friends back home and stuff, and like we all love them and stuff, but like a lot of them are on different journeys and stuff, whereas like we literally were saying this last night, I've like known you boys for like 4 weeks, like in person proper, but it feels like we've known each other for years and we get along like real fucking well. So I reckon in terms of like just being in this, it's just like the best part. We're all like killers, we all work hard, think a lot about in the future where we want to be and stuff. I reckon that's one of the best things for me. And it's like naturally when you travel, you're just going to meet more people and stuff as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean traveling around is pretty crazy. It's one of the reasons I got into this. Literally because I took a holiday last year and I was like, man, there's people like making like money. Even if you're making like less than six figures, like you're doing well, like going to countries like in Asia, South America, all that kind of stuff. But also everywhere you go, like I've gone to Vietnam this year, Bali, Dubai, and like with this network, being in this space, like, you just know everyone. Like there's people you meet everywhere. I didn't think I'd go to Vietnam and like I'd be able to like meet people there, but there was a whole crew there. And like now being in Dubai, it's just the gravity here is so high. Just opens your eyes, and the time zones are pretty crazy.
Yeah.
But
What time are you working?
oh, bro, it's like we wake up at 2:30 a.m. grinding till like 12. So
Nah, bro, we wake up at like 2.
keep it on the DL.
On the meeting, like.
Yeah. But it's been really killer just being with the boys, like the environment before the calls. 9:59 here, it's energy's up, bang, 10 a.m. into the calls. So it's awesome to be with a bunch of like-minded guys traveling around.
As soon as I get up, I'm having to smash on this guy's door because I don't trust him to get up before the meetings. Bro's renowned for missing meetings. He's like the number one person. No straightaway, he's not making it out.
Yeah.
I think like one of the cool things I feel is like it's like I'm on holiday but like 24/7. You know, when a holiday before and it's like, oh shit, I have to go back home in 2 weeks, I have to go back to school, I have to go back to uni. Here it's like I've been to Thailand, the Philippines, Bali, Australia a bit, and then now Dubai. It's like I feel like I'm on a holiday the whole time, you know? I can do what I want like after I'm done with work, and it's just like it's way more stress free than it's like having to go back and think about, oh fuck, I have to go to school. Like, yeah, fuck that.
Something that me and this guy were talking about out on the balcony. It's like, you know how like back in the day you'd go on a holiday with the family and you're like, fuck, I go back to school, or like people mostly would be like, oh, I have to go back to work and that side of thing. It's like, if you go home, you're like, you just know you can go anywhere whenever you want. I feel like the feeling of like knowing that the holiday never ends, like that, the feeling of like, I feel like that's just like the true feeling of freedom, to be honest. But I feel like that's pretty insane.
Yeah.
No, it's like for example, like we're moving. We stayed here for like 2 weeks, and we're moving to a new place. Like every time we move to a new place, it just feels like you get used to it, but it feels good. You know, it feels like you're starting fresh every time. I was telling my parents about it, that, you know, we're moving all these places, and my mom was telling me, she's like, oh, you know, I feel excited when you move to a new place. It feels like I'm moving there as well. So like I'm so used to like moving to all these places. Like for example, all of us have been to like multiple countries, but when you look at it from a third party, it looks it's pretty insane. That's what I gathered, to be honest.
Yeah. I think being able to travel while earning income is definitely something that most people aren't used to or get to experience. Because when you go on a holiday, you're always just expense, but like you're always cash flowing while you're moving, which is a pretty weird lifestyle. But I think, well, I wish most people get to experience that, because it is a pretty crazy feeling across the board.
Yeah.
Naveed specifically, it's very interesting because he, since we did an interview on the channel, he's more than like close to doubled your income.
Yeah.
What's changed, do you think?
To be honest, like the hardest like milestone was 10K. Like I joined RSA in August last year, and there was a bit of ups and downs, but like the hardest push was like to 10K. Like that month I was like, man, I got to hit 10K, because I set out, I was working with Jordan as well. Shout out to Jordan. I left Australia with a goal of hitting 10K and coming back after the 10 weeks at 10K. I hit 11.5K, and then after that, like, I kind of just forgot about the income.
Yeah.
Like the next month I went in, I more than doubled it, and I was like, oh shit, I hit 20K plus. So I didn't really change anything. I just got better, got the reps in, but I just stopped actually caring about it too much, you know? So yeah, nothing crazy, to be honest, yeah.
I'm curious on what you guys' thoughts is generally about hitting 10K a month, and whether or not you feel the same as Naveed. Anybody?
Yeah. No, my first 10 grand a month, I remember when I first talked to Connor, I said I was going to hit 10 grand a month in 6 months. And I think I hit it on exactly the 5th or 6th month. And looking back, that was probably the hardest journey, because I didn't even know if it was going to work. I thought hard ticket sales wasn't even going to work. And on top of that, when you hit it, you realize that 10 grand a month is a lot of money. Like, it changed a lot for me, to be honest. Compared to like going from 10 to 30 grand a month or 30 to 40 grand a month, 10 grand a month was like where you can like travel, you can go to Asia. You can actually live that lifestyle, especially if you're by yourself and you're young. Like I was 18 when I made 10 grand a month. And yeah, no one around my school or no one 18 that I knew was making that, even from a normal job. So yeah, that's what I think about 10 grand a month.
Yeah. What are you guys, because I mean, obviously I haven't worked with you guys in a client capacity, so it's like, I've seen your documented come up on your YouTube channel, which I really wish I did more of that when I was younger. And that's how I came to like you a lot more, where we've never even had a chat, because I saw you documenting the agency experience. Like you're in your camera going like, fuck. Like, I'm going to rip all these cold calls. I've made no money for months and months and months and months and months. Like, what was that experience like for you? Especially, you've spoken about it like a little bit of just like going from 0 to 10, but like with your going from agency to high ticket sales, like what did you find the grind was from like that 0 to 10K a month?
An agency versus high ticket sales?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's night and day, man. Like in the agency, I think the most I did in a month was like 2-3K, and that was like crazy hours every single day, stressing. Whereas now it's not like a walk in the park, but it's just like it's just hard to explain. It's just like all you got to do is show up and worry about your job. You don't have to worry about a million different aspects. So it's just much cleaner. You just need to show up, do your job, focus on what you really need to do. And of course, there's still a lot of work involved, and it's not easy, but it's so much better, man. Like, yeah, I can't believe I did. I wish I got into high tickets straight away. I messed around an agency for ages just because I was like stubborn. And then it was the same thing. Like Shay, he obviously became a client of yours, and I was like, oh, what's it like? And then literally like that same conversation, I like made the commitment to switch. Started role playing and stuff. Obviously, we did the same stuff that he would have been doing with you and the clients, and that really got me into it. And literally, he added me into the same network through you connected him with Riley. Landed an interview in like probably like 2 weeks after committing to like doing it, which was insane. It's just like that network effect. And then from the day that I landed it, I think I hit 10K in like 5 months around about that.
And how old are you again? Remind me.
Yeah, 22.
22. Crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was so sick, man. It was like at the same time, I had such good mentors. I had like all these boys in the company as well. Whereas in the agency, you're like by yourself. It's like isolating, and it's just so much better. It's high ticket sales is so much better in 10K than agency. Agency's stressful when you got to retain it, clients, man. It's just like a pain in the ass. What are your thoughts?
100%. I'm curious on like all the things that you try before high ticket sales.
Oh, I mean, I can talk about.
Well,
I can talk.
We've got time.
These guys have heard the spiel so much, but I was doing like, I did think an SMMA course. I got sold on like a webinar when I was maybe like 16, like a pre-recorded one that I thought was like live, which is pretty funny.
Yeah, we all did that. Yeah.
Then I was going to like the classic dropshipping, affiliate marketing, but then crypto was probably the thing that me and my brother, I have a twin brother, we were really big on. And we actually made decent money on NFTs, but then we kind of like lost it all, and we were being quite lazy with it, that we didn't do it too much. And we kind of knew we had to learn skills. So then we eventually like went to the agency game, and that's what me and my brother did for a long time. And then obviously in sales as well. We still run the agency, but I think for me going from like 0 to 10, it was definitely like Kashi said, it's a really big difference. Even from 0 to 5, I think 0 to 5 is like huge because it's like, okay, that may be justified to like, okay, I made the right decision quitting uni. Because for context, I had like 1 year left of my degree, finance, cybersecurity degree. I have an Asian mom, and I feel like dropped it to do online business.
Yeah.
And when I was making 5K a month, I was like, okay, it's like I made the right decision. When you go from 5 to 10, at least for us young guys, it's like, I've never had that money before. You can just spend shit without like looking at the bill, without thinking about it, and you just know money's coming in. I was gonna see put in the work. I won't say I was like super lucky, but I did get 10K a month basically in my 3rd month, like just under. My 4th month, I was already past it. So it's definitely possible. And yeah, it really changed your life, like really, really quickly. That's the thing. But when you're in the trenches, it feels like a long time. Yeah. You just got to stick it through. And then when you're out of it, it's like, wow, I actually did it. And then like your life changes, your whole perspective changes on like money, on, what everything's worth. You're just less limited, I think. That's the biggest thing out of everything. It's like, you don't have to worry about, oh shit, like, the money's holding me out, or my job's holding me back, or school's holding me back. It's like, no, fuck that, and do what I want. Because I have that.
Yeah. What did you try?
Oh, I mean, when I started off, it was probably in year 12. I was the young hustler in high school that was trying to make money online. I was always talking about it, but I never actually did it. And then I remember the one time I got my course. It was a course, you guys familiar, big dude in SMMA.
Yeah.
Classic. We all know.
Yeah.
It was like a insane offer. I think it was like Christmas offer or something. And it was $9.97, and I split it among 3 friends. It was $300. I didn't even have $300. I went to my mom and asked for $300. And bought the course, and I did nothing with it for 4 months. But I thought I was cooking. I thought I was making some money, but yeah, I didn't do anything in 4 months. After that, I did like e-com, just YouTube, and then I came across Connor, to be honest. So I looked at a bunch of things, but that was like the only course I ever actually bought. But I never did anything. But I think what I went wrong was I didn't focus on skill sets. I was just trying to get rich quick. Like we've all been there. The sports betting, crypto.
Sports betting?
Yeah, match betting.
Yeah, match betting.
It's back based.
Probably not.
Yeah, like all the crypto stuff. Yeah, and then I think what changed was when I actually learned like actual high value skill sets. That's when it all changed for me. Not just 0 to 10 grand a month, but the fact that I knew I had those skill sets, that it would make me a lot of money down the line as well, for sure.
For sure. I'll probably tell the guys what I did personally as well, and then we'll have Naveed have a go. But yeah, I was the same. Like I tried Forex, crypto, e-com, YouTube cash flow. I did literally everything under the sun and nothing worked. And the thing that I want to be very clear about is that all these business models work if you give them enough time, but some are more difficult than others. And if you try to start an agency when you have no skills, no experience, I'm not going to say that you're going to flop, but it's a high likely chance that you do. I've experienced that myself. Jackson did, right? It is a tough game. And when you try to start all these businesses that you just don't have the skills for or the experience, it's really tough, but they are all possible to make work. You just have to pick one and stick with it ultimately. David, what did you try before? Is it just
I pretty much,
sales, or?
I mean, I was in corporate sales like 9 to 5, but before that, when I was, I think I was 20 years old or 21 years old, I basically bought the same thing as Kashi. It was like some end of the world, like the Matrix is going to get you. And then like my stress levels were just going up. I was like far out, like the world's going to end. The big man got me. He got me, man. So I got into that. I bought into that program. I think it was $9.97 actually, which was like 1,500 Australian. I put on.
Watched the same video, bro.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was $9.97. I put on a credit card and I went through the videos, but like I was pretty much half-assed on it, to be honest. I was like, I set up the click funnels, and then a couple months later, I was like, why am I getting charged $150 Oz?
Yeah.
Like, and I was like, far out, click funnels. I just left it and forgot about it. But like, I mean, everything works really, right? Like, I mean, you say yourself, everything works, drop shipping works, all that kind of stuff works. But I mean, high ticket sales, it's probably the best one to get into. I mean, it's the easiest one to get into, right? You don't need to do all the fulfillment side of things, but also like it's a skill that you can take in other areas of life, but also moving forward as well. Like you can do like crazy stuff with it. Like, I mean, we have so much skills that we can, go into other roles or even different types of sales and make crazy amounts of money. This is just the beginning, and even if you want to start your own business, like sales is like one of the key skills that you need, right? Otherwise you're going to have to hire a sales guy. But yeah, that's my 2 cents on that. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I think I want to ask you guys as well, because we can all talk about how high ticket sales is this next thing and how good it is and all these other things and how much money we've all made and have made in the past. But what is like the reality? We'll probably go full circle around again. Like, what is the reality of like what it actually takes to get to the level that you're at? Because again, pretty much my whole brand, and I'm sure probably why you two guys decided to work with me, was because I told the reality of things and like this is how it works. And I think it's a very big part of being successful with this is having the right expectations and knowing the realistic timelines and timeframes and what's required to actually make this work. So we'll probably go left all the way around right. What do you feel is required to be successful in high ticket sales, and what do you feel you do on a daily basis that's gotten you to where you're at? Yeah. I know, intense question, but...
No, it's a good question. I'd say definitely starting out, just like having that commitment of like showing up. Like I was showing up, I don't know what the fuck I did. The first thing I did was objection. I don't know anything about sales. I got straight into objection handling. It was in the True Blues call. There were like 30, 40 boys in there. Shay just chucks me right in. He's like, yeah, bro, you're up. And I'm just like reading this objection handling script. But like, even though like I didn't have the fundamentals down, I wasn't learning the right things. I just had the commitment. I just showed up every day. I just knew that I wanted to do it. I didn't know like what the hell was, and I did get put in front of like good people and stuff. But I'd say the biggest thing is just having the commitment. So showing up to the training, and you're gonna have to like, sometimes you don't get put on like a lay down offer straight off the bat. You got to like work your way up, go on the shitty cold calling offers, which I'm sure a lot of us have. But in terms of a day to day, I mean, like, especially living like with all us boys, it's like you can't be the guy that takes a day off. So we work 7 days flex. Like, I definitely didn't at the start. I do like 6 days, and I had like rugby on the weekends and stuff. But I mean, we work pretty hard. So I feel like we're a pretty extreme example. Like, we definitely do like 12-hour days. Just like wake up, maybe like train, then it's just like calls. Whenever we have a bit of time, smash a bit of food, then back into calls again. Then it's like calls are done, get into reviews, jump on with the boys kind of thing. But we definitely take our time off, like whenever our brain's fried. But it's not like I feel like I'm forced to do that. It's just like I'm so driven to get to where I want to go. Just like flat stick, always on it. But if I definitely got to a position where I was at a good skill level, for example, could definitely dial it back a bit. But yeah, I think all of us boys are hungry, and it's pretty hard to not want to be a killer, especially when like, yeah, all of us are working so hard. You can't be the one that copes out. I mean, like you're pretty lazy, bro. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, when I first heard about high ticket sales, it was through Accelerator, which you were coaching on. And the way it's kind of made out initially is like, you know, take calls on the beach, sitting by the pool, all that kind of stuff, which, I mean, in reality, it's not that, right? Like, if you actually want to make money, you kind of have to go all in. Like, I think it's fair to say all of us here, we're pretty much consumed by it, right? But in a good way. It's not like we're 9-to-5ers, got to go into the office or anything like that. We wake up, pumped up, ready to go. You know, that's what we want. Like, I think if you want to actually...
What's a pre-call?
We just can't like 1 minute before the call starts.
59.
Let's go.
It's like 1 minute I'm about to like rip into dials, and it says, "Let's go, come on, Shans." It's like, but I'm like pumped up and shit, bro. It's fun.
Yeah, I mean, I lost my train of thought now, but I guess the point is, like, you have to go all in on it, but it's super fun. Like, it's going to be very hard in the beginning. You just have to stick it out. I mean, I'm a good example. Like, I stopped doing it because my offer went downhill last year, and I just like kind of cut things out for like 2 or 3 months, and then the big G messages me. He's like, "Dude, what you doing?" And I was like, "You know, looking for some offers." But I really wasn't. I was just capping. But you have to actually stick it out. It's hard in the start, but I think anyone really, like, I mean, we just saw Josh, who just joined like when I was in Vietnam in I think July.
Straight onto an offer.
Yeah, July, August. I mean, he just stuck his head down, showing up to calls probably every week,
Yeah,
put in the work, and
Yeah.
anyone who comes in, 3 months probably minimum, but within 6 months, you're in a good position, right? At least on an offer to make 10K a month, right? So long term, you just have to have that commitment, which is with anything, right? But yeah.
I think the big thing before we pass off to Kashi is that we spoke about this with an interview with Rahul recently on the channel, which was that generally across the board, like everybody inside the RSA that has shown up to calls every single week consistently and asks questions and is coachable and asks for feedback is at 10K a month in 6 to 12 months. Like that's the timeline that I've seen.
Literally.
You know, if you're inside the community, like you'll see the people who show up to calls for that timeline are crushing it. Blaine just landed a winner offer. Braden just landed a winner offer. Bao, your boy, big boy Bao, as we like to call him.
Big offer.
Very big offer. You know, like the top closer is making 30K a month, and like the lowest is like 22, and he's going straight to a closing role. So it's like, if you put in the effort and you show up consistently, like you can get results like all of these guys. But the work that's required to get to this point is something that's really critical to understand. Sales is not for the weak-minded or the faint of heart. Like, to be frank, if you're a pussy, like, this is not going to work for you. Like, if you're just going to flake the first call that you have and you can't deal with rejection, there's literally no point in doing this all, in my opinion. But I'm curious in your thoughts.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, like, after all being in sales, we all know who's going to flake and who's not going to flake just by talking to them for like 5 minutes, to be honest.
Yeah.
It also like reflects in your life, like how you just like normally before I came into sales. For me, I felt when I came into sales that, especially in RSA, that just in the whole sales space, the bar was so low. Like it was so low. I felt like no one even did call reviews, like showing up on like team meetings, and now looking at other sales programs as well. Like no one even shows up to calls. So I feel like it's just a standards thing, to be honest. I feel like I was always just showing up, especially when from 0 to 10 grand a month for the first 6 months. I'll show up on every single RSA call for the most part.
Something to highlight as well, even when he was making 37K a month, he still came to coaching calls. like general Q&A calls. And I've constantly hounded people inside the community like how much you need to show up more. I've seen the show up rate to calls more than double in the last month or so, which is interesting. Maybe it's people seeing results. But for Kashi and even Shelly as well, like they show up to calls and they're the top earners in the community. And it just shows that I think a really important thing is you need to lose the ego. Even if you're doing well on an offer and you're making money, just realize you just don't know what you don't know. And Kashi is a very good example of that.
Yeah, 100%. Lose the ego is a big one.
Yeah.
That's something I always learned. Like I'll hop in the RSA and I'll look at all the killers, like Matthew, Fabian, like back when I started, and they were like big brothers to me. Like I thought like, whoa, they're like where I want to be. And I would just hop on calls with them, hopped on with Navid when he hopped on a closing call. I thought it was a big dog. Type shit.
Yeah, just on that, sorry for interrupting. We were actually watching one of the first role plays with me and Kashi. We were in Bali. And, I landed an offer just for context. Like the second day, I joined the RSA, and I was like, yeah, I'm the top G. I hopped on a call with you and another guy, and I was like, I full framed them. I was like, so this is what we're going to be doing on this call.
Oh my God.
Bro, I mean, looking back at that, I mean, both of us were just hustling. Like, we were the only guys there. There was like, I think 2 other people. Just hopping on those calls and just like locking yourself in. I think I did nothing else pretty much. Like, I can't think of anything that I actually did apart from like sales, maybe like gym, eating right, sleeping. That's all I did for the first 6 months.
Bro, you're losing your hair, bro.
Well, that's after 6 months, bro. After 6
Yeah.
months, to go from like 10 grand a month to 30 grand a month. I mean, we can get to that, but for me, that was way more intense. I had to like sacrifice a lot to go from 10 grand a month, 30 grand a month. Whatever I thought 0 to 10 grand a month was, 10 to 30 was like way harder in reality. But it didn't feel as hard, but from the outside, it was way harder. For sure.
100%. In one of the calls that Kashi showed up with in a circle, I think it was like a month or 2 in when you landed like 2 offers or something like that. You're like, I'm not going to sleep. And I'm going to work, I'm going to sleep like 3-4 hours and I'm just going to make it work. And we had the conversation. We're like, you can do that for now, but as long as you realize it's not sustainable, it's not going to last forever.
Yeah.
But that got you to a really, really big month with probably changed a lot around your mindset.
100%. I grew like 3 times as fast. I would never have had that growth if I didn't do that.
Yeah.
So,
What are your thoughts on the come up and what's required?
Yeah, I mean, I think I agree with Kashi in the sense that I feel like maybe it's just me. I feel like the bar is definitely low. Like from 0 to 10, like you just have to show up and like just be obsessed, as Navid said. Yeah, I was like, I say this to my guys. I'm like fiending. I'm like always fiending for a call. I'm fiending for a sale. I love it when I see payments come through. I get like a good dopamine hit of that. And I think you have to really chase that in a way, but you have to chase like the inputs and the skills. So for me, from 0 to 10, the first 3 months, I was like locked in, you know, like not really doing too much extra. I sacrificed a little bit, but then once you get to that point, you then realize, okay, I know what's required. Then you can sort of get better. Then now I have like a lot more freedom than I did, I think, from I'd say 0 to 10, even though I'm earning more. Like as Kashi said, it's like the 10 to 30, it was definitely hard, but from the outside, like when you're from 10 to 30, it's not as hard, I think, from 0 to 10, but from the outside, it definitely looks hard. So yeah, I think you're spot on. It's like, you just have to be, like we're all consumed, but you have to be obsessed. You have to do whatever it takes. That's me personally. I think what I see from like the best people who make the most money, it's like they just do what it takes. And that means not having an ego. If there's someone better than you, why the fuck wouldn't you learn from that guy? 100%. He's making more money. Like, listen to him, do what he says. I see some guys, a mistake that I see from lots in the space is like, oh, they feel like, oh, but you know, saying stuff like that doesn't fit my personality, or oh, it's not congruent. Yeah. They'll make all these excuses to not do what it takes. And it's like, well, that's why you're getting the results. Reality's telling you, you're getting the results. So I think ego is definitely a huge thing. Just do what it takes. And obviously guys like Connor, who has lots of experience, just do what he says. Like if you show up, like it's gonna work. You're gonna get results because he's actually seen it and coached people. So it's the same thing with anyone above you. That's why, even though I feel like I have an ego, I'm always looking to chase someone better than me and learn from it. And I think that's how you really improve.
Yeah, I think that's pretty powerful. One of the biggest things that's got me to where I am, not to say that I'm this big guy or whatever, but I've achieved some things that at least people are looking for, I would say. And that's by far one of the biggest things I would say is like putting your ego to the side and establishing, okay, someone knows more than I know. Why don't I just put my ego to the side and just do what they say blindly? I say that's probably one of the biggest things that kills people's success overall is they just cannot put their ego to the side and listen and just come to the terms and understand that they probably don't know a lot, right? Especially when it comes to like high ticket sales, for example. Like I've been in the game for 5 years. Like I'm practically an uncle of the space at this point. Like that's like practical grandpa. Like I've been doing this a long time since I'm like 18, 19. I'm 24 now. So it's like I probably know some stuff, and the people that actually follow and do what I tell them to, like this guy and this guy, crush it and do super well. I wanted to ask, you go.
No, just to add on to that.
Sure.
I remember every single time I'd say a couple months after Connor says something, I'd come back to him and be like, dude, you're always right, eh? Like Connor's always right. I think I've said that so many times. I say it at least like once or twice a month to someone. I go, Connor's always right, bro. Connor's always right. And it's always worked out for me. Like whatever you've said, I don't think it's ever failed.
Even about coming here, bro.
Especially coming here.
Yeah.
Coming here, that's one part. Choosing offers, my mindset, where I am, like everything that you said just came true. And I don't think there's one thing that you said where I went, it wasn't true, to be honest.
How have you felt coming here? Because it was a pretty uncomfortable move, especially being 19, moving across the other side of the world. Like, how have you felt about that?
Let me just add, like, we'd always talk about it, and he would always be stressing. He's like, oh, bro, I gotta make it work, bro. Like, he's bro, straight up stressing. I was like, always asking though.
Which is fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah. I mean, like going to Thailand, going to like Asia is like, it's pretty okay, you know, like I'm not too bad because I know I'm coming back. With Dubai, I was gonna set up my tax structure here because, which I already set up. It's in the process. Already paid the guy, but it's 0% taxes here. And the fact that I had to move and I had to actually leave Australia, that hit hard for a solid like 2 or 3 months. That I had to spend 3 months of the year here, and I would lose my Australian like bank account, you could say. That hit hard, and it took me like probably 3 months to overcome that nerves. But Connor told me 6 months ago, probably, to come to Dubai, and I should have just done it 3 months ago, to be honest. I don't know why I delayed it for that long. It's only been good. There's nothing else to say. It's just good, bro.
I mean, before we move to the next question that I was going to ask you guys, which I'll ask you after this, but what has it been like being in Dubai, of all places? Because you guys have traveled a little bit, you've seen different places. Like, what has it been like, the places you've eaten, the people you've seen, like just everything? Like, what's your experience been like that before that?
Yeah, I think it's crazy because I wasn't really considering Dubai. Like I knew about the tax thing, but I was like, oh, you know, let me stay in Asia. It's pretty fun, whatever. Until Kashi told me a little bit about going to Dubai and like, you know, the standards thing. And I actually paid Connor for a call, even though I was not technically an RSA student. I am gonna call Connor, and then yeah, from the thing I was like so thrilled. Like I remember I was like, I'm telling my brother like straight away as soon as he's home, I'm like, we're going to Dubai. But I was gonna delay it till January. And like that was initially my plan for the longest time, literally until maybe 3 days before we actually moved to Dubai. I was like, okay, let me full send.
You were bitching
Yeah.
so hard.
I was like, oh yeah, let me wait till January. Let me think about it a bit more. Like classic, you know, just delaying shit for no reason. But I think coming here, especially coming from like places like Asia and Australia, the thing you know is from the beginning, it's like just the standards in everything. It's like a lot cleaner here. The interior design, it's so much nicer. The food, the customer service, it's just very high standard. We go to places like Asia, I feel like, you know, it's very accessible to a lot of people. Places like Dubai, it's not as. So you can just tell there's a different aura here. And I think it really helps you to level up. It made me realize, like, shit, like I actually have a lot of work to do myself. Like, you know, I'm not all that. There's levels to this. You go here, you see G-Wagons everywhere. Ferraris, Lambos. You know, you don't really see that in Asia, and definitely not in Australia either. So I think it was a huge perspective change for me. Where I'm like, fuck, like I need to level up. And I think it's a good thing. I think that's the best part. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because just to give you some context before I jump into it, I used to live in China for a bit in like this place called Guangzhou. But I lived like near an island. And it was just like the nightlife was pretty similar to here. So ever since I was like 15, 16, I'd say, I'd always like idolize coming here and stuff. Like even all the boys know, like my background whenever I'd share my screen, they'd always see like the Dubai like nightlife of like the Burj and stuff. So yeah, and I've always wanted to come in. Like after coming here, by far trumps all the other countries that I've been to. Just like not even for like the materialistic purposes. It's just like the culture, the vibe, the weather, the people. Like we go out to dinners and it's just like so nice. And it's like people think it's gonna be like you need to be a millionaire to come here. Like it's reasonably priced. Like it's pretty similar to Australia. Like to be honest.
What was it like when I took all you boys to that first restaurant?
Oh, bro. I think did we arrive just that day? No. Oh no,
Yeah.
It
we.
was like a few days later. Like
Was it one day?
No. It was
like one
we
day
arrived
later.
there in the night and we did. That was like the first thing we did.
Yeah.
yeah.
That was the first time we saw the
had
Burj. No, that was the first time we saw the Burj. It was
Yeah.
No, it was insane. Like even because like Kashi obviously like these two obviously look up to. You brought them into the space, so seeing that was fucking sick. But like the place itself, man, it was like next level. It really hit us. We were like,
Yeah.
boys, let's move here. I'm never leaving, which I'm still gonna stick by as
Yeah.
well. That wasn't just a thing I was saying in the moment, but you know, I can 100% see myself staying here like long term. I was even saying to the boys, it's like so safe. You can definitely see like you're bringing up your family here and stuff. But yeah, love it, man. It's best decision because. The only reason I came is like that interview that you guys had. When I was on the power dial, I'd watched it literally 5 times. I was so sold on coming here.
The consulting call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a little bit of a story. So we were trying to book the Airbnb when we were in Bali, and we left it to the very last minute, and then we were refreshing the page, and it was like the day that we wanted got booked out. So I actually,
It was literally the night before we left.
Yeah.
yeah, pretty much, and yeah, we had to wake this guy up as well. It was like, oh. But so I decided to actually book the cheapest like hotel, like a core hotel, and I didn't know about any areas or anything. Turns out we're staying in, what is it, Dura? Dira?
No idea.
Yeah, the slums of Dubai, and I rock up and I'm like, far out.
Bro, when me and Alfonso were on the smoko floor, it was like there was like fucking cigarette smoke coming in, bro. It was fucking shit. Eh?
Yeah.
That's so
Yeah, but
funny.
honestly, it's still not even too bad, to be honest. Like,
There's places in Asia that are way worse.
yeah, like the food there is really good, but like it wasn't the best area, but it's still not bad. But like, I mean, when we made that move, like the next day to come to, I forgot what it's called, the One and Only hotel.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, like, like I've been to the Crown in Sydney and Melbourne, but like that's a whole nother level being there. But I mean, there's luxury. You go out front, there's Rolls Royces, Lamborghinis. I mean, it's not just about the materialistic stuff, but it's like, damn, like there's people doing this stuff. Like
Yeah.
it's people with money.
pretty
Whereas in
crazy.
like Asia, it's like, I mean, you just kind of, I don't like, we're not like making crazy money, like millions of dollars, but you're a big fish. You
Yeah,
know,
exactly.
Places like Bali and Thailand, all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. And it's just like chill, but here it's like, damn, it's like a little bit of stress. You know what I mean? Like even last time we went for cigars, like, I just felt like I felt good. It was an awesome conversation, but I just felt stressed. I'm like, damn, I got to do something.
Yeah.
And we're not moving. We're not moving, you know?
No, I think like one thing when I came here, when we went to that place, the One and Only, when Connor took us,
Yeah.
like in my Instagram explore page, there's lots of those like aesthetic, like old money or like nice restaurants and like shit like that. I'm like, this is it. Like here in Dubai, like this is exactly in my Instagram. Like fuck, this is. It's not like that in Bali or Thailand or anything like that. So it's just a higher. It's like higher quality everything, like even just the whole design, like the aesthetic. It's just like it feel like anywhere you can like take a picture and it looks good. You know what I mean?
100%. I was going to ask you guys, I think a lot of guys will find a lot of value in this because you guys, again, you're young, you're making good money online and with high ticket sales, and a lot of people watch my YouTube channel with my small 2,000 subscribers. But I'd be curious to hear, like, from your experience and how long you guys have worked in high ticket sales, like, what would you tell a beginner that's trying to get into this? Or like, what would your tips be of someone who's already doing high ticket sales to best take advantage of the industry as a whole? Feel free to dive in, any of you.
Circle back around. One of you guys first.
Anybody, take it. Fons, go for it.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of a good answer. Well, I think that the thing that I did was I invested into coaching. I think that was a big one. Because it sort of fast tracks your success, and you also like get the network. Yeah, I mean, at the time when I started, I think I didn't know about RSA yet. I joined a different one, which is one of those ones that is not even a program anymore. So,
Yeah.
that's one of the ones I did. So it didn't really work out too well, but it kind of worked out well for me. I think the biggest tip I'd give is like, yeah, you just have to seek people and like, yeah, I think the easy one is like to invest into some sort of coaching or program. But when you're actually in there, you have to just do whatever it takes to like win. And that, like, again, kind of what I was saying earlier. It's like whatever it takes, no matter what. No buts, no. You just blindly do what it takes. And if you have someone like a mentor, he can tell you. So if you want to land jobs, offers, you know, do the outreach, post content.
What did you have to do to make that coaching offer work? What did you have to do logistics wise?
Oh yeah, okay. This is a story. So it's one of the programs I did. It was like 4,000 British pounds, which is like 8,000 AED, and I physically didn't have enough money to pay for it because I gave my money to my mom's mortgage account. So I gave a logistical parent objection, and it's funny because I'm like, when I get a parent objection, I'm like, fuck this kid, you know. But what I had to do was like I put down the deposit, but I had to like literally have to tell my mom what I was getting into. And I have an Asian mom. Like she didn't know any better. Like, so I have nothing against what she did. I think she did the right thing based on her perspective. But we had like a massive fight where it ended up actually her crying. Long story short, like she cried. It was a massive fight. She didn't really want me to do it, but it was my money, so she obviously gave it, and I did it. So I kind of had to make it work. And that's, I think, what it means of like doing what it takes. So if you have to do the outreach, do what it takes. Like, okay, you have uni, so what? I had uni too. I had the jobs as well. You just have to do it. Sacrifice sleep. But then once you're there, once you're in the space, once you actually land the role, again, do whatever it takes to actually get good. Like, seek out the best guys. Bombard them with questions. Like, listen to their calls. Take it from it, and then track your dollar. See if you're improving or not. That's kind of what I did. And a good friend of yours, Jack, he really helped me when I was starting out. I just did whatever it took. I did exactly what the guy told me. And I eventually became a lot better. I really climbed the leaderboards there.
Yeah. Shout out to Jack Rocky, by the way.
Yeah,
Shout out to you, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just do whatever it takes.
Yeah, no, I agree with Fonz. Do whatever it takes and go all in. Because like when I started in the online space, especially like dropping uni was a big one for me. Because I had a relatively good ATAR, and when I went to university, it was like one of the top degrees in that like university, and it was like the top degree in WA. And dropping that was hard, but I just did it. And then I told my mom, and yeah, she also like, I think she cried, bro, but it was like a huge argument for sure, for like a whole week. But I just said it, and I just went all in. Like I did it first, but I feel like if I say this to any of you guys watching, like you're probably gonna reject the idea of what it actually takes to get into the industry. One, like dropping everything that you have right now and going all in, that's a really scary thing to do. And on top of that, investing in a mentor. Like the skepticism, the nerves, the fear, like as much as we like objection handle, like let's be real, like that was the biggest thing in my mind. And you just have to overcome it. But if I tell you to do that, like you're probably gonna reject the idea anyway. Which is what I find, because so many people message since I've like joined Connor, RSA, and when I actually tell them what it takes, like investing in a mentor, learning from like the top, messaging people, getting uncomfortable, putting yourself out there, they're just not willing to do what it takes. I haven't seen it, like very rare, like that's apart from you boys and a couple other people, like I haven't really seen people do what it takes to get there, which is like actually going all in and putting yourself out there. And also like not thinking what other people think, to be honest. Because I still remember when I joined RSA and a couple people were thinking of joining the RSA, and they just were caring about what their parents would feel or what their friends would say or like what their family would say, and they would just let other people's in their environment just dictate their results. And I'd be like, there's nothing I can do at the end of the day. And that was a big thing that I find. People stopping people.
If I was going to do something before we pass off to Naveed, I think jumping into investing into a coaching program was probably one of the scariest things that I ever did. It's fucking terrifying. Like spending $7,500, which is what I spent at the time as an 18-year-old, was fucking terrifying. Like I was literally nervously shaking at the edge of my bed, telling the guy I wanted to think about it for 30 minutes. Like it's so hard to take that step, but you have to realize like what is more risky, your situation right now or actually taking the leap. It is really, really difficult to take that leap. I understand that, but if you really want big results, you have to do big things, you have to make big changes. So I really encourage, if you're watching this, like take the leap and actually really just get after it, because it is going to be an uncomfortable change. But again, to get something that you never have done or have achieved, you have to do something you never did.
Yeah, I mean, I can relate to all the stories here. I mean, I think the common theme that you guys will pick up from all of us is there's an aspect of going all in. I mean, Fonz, you've gone all in. Kashi, you've gone all in. I'll let you tell your story as well, how you went all in. But I mean, for me personally, like I was in a 9-to-5 corporate role, and like it's comfortable getting like a salary, you have a good promotion path, 6 figures, whatever. It's just not a good life, you know, being tied down like that, applying for leave, going and traveling. For me, like going all in was literally just dropping everything, quit the job. I had like a couple grand in my bank account, and I was actually working with Jordan at the time, and I was like scared because the offer I was on, it wasn't doing awesome. Like there was barely any calls getting booked in, and I hopped on a call, like our weekly calls, and I was like, bro, like I don't know if like I can do it. He's like, bro, just go. Like, what's the worst that can happen? So I basically just dropped everything, put 2K down on an apartment, and basically, I think by the time everything was paid off, I had like $1 grand in my account, and then
Don't worry about Siri. Yeah.
one day my car payment comes out, that's 500, and I'm like, shit, I'm in Vietnam with like $500 in my bank account. And I was just like, I'm a big spender, as we've discussed.
Yeah. Yeah, we've talked about these things. Yeah, so we're working on
financial literacy is one of my goals. Yeah. But like at one point, I think my bank went to like $80, and I was like, shit. But luckily, I did like well on my offer, and like I got them to just pay me out early. But like I went all in. There was so much pressure. I mean, you boys know, like when I came in, I wasn't doing that great. Like in the first 1, 2, probably until the third week I picked up. But it's like I was pulling my hair out. Like I'm going to get kicked off the offer. Like I'm in Vietnam. Like no money. I have to go back and get a corporate job. And I'm like far out, you know. And there was just so much on the line for me. And it would be shameful as well, leaving everything behind and like coming back with nothing, you know. But I think if you drop everything, burn all the boats, which we've all done to get to where we want to be, dude, that's where you have success. And yeah, just touching on Connor's, like investing in yourself is key. Like I invested in Connor last year, but then I also invested in Jordan, right? And it's going into with the mindset of like when I invested in Jordan, I'm like, dude, like I've been at this thing and I've had such like self-doubt and like mental blocks with this thing. And I'm like, if I make this investment, which was a lot of money, I had to literally put on a credit card, like I have the confidence in myself that within 3, 4, 5 months, I'm just going to be making that recurring anyways, like making 10K a month. So like going into with that mindset, I think you can overcome that. Just take the leap, go all in. Like there's no reason not to, especially for most of the guys who are probably looking at this space are young, right? Early 20s, probably mid 20s. I mean, what do you got to lose? You know, like imagine being 30 years old and you look back on your life and you just haven't done anything. Oh, I could have done this, I could have done that, but you didn't. So just go all in. There's nothing to lose. But yeah.
Before we pass it on, I wanted to ask you, because for the context for the guys that don't know as well, like Jordan's our mindset coach in the community. So how much of an impact do you think it's had having someone constantly work on your mindset and your worldview?
I mean, for me, it's the biggest thing. Even today, I mean, Lockie's big on like like MRIing yourself, like personal development, because we can learn all the tactics, right? But like we can learn how to, because in reality, dude, like you give everything you need in the RSA. How to land an offer, how to network, recruiters, sales skills. I mean, sales skills are offer dependent, but a lot of people, like they won't commit. Right? There's people that drop off, they come back in, there's ups and downs. And I think that all comes down to mindset. Because for me personally, I can only speak from my experience, like the online space seems like a big bad dragon or something. You know what I mean?
Big bad dragon.
I mean, like, it's like, oh wow. Like even
it's intimidating.
Even when I was, it's intimidating. Like, can I even do it? Like even when I was making money on the offer that you put me into, and then it started to go downhill, I was like, man, can I even do this? Like, can you actually even make money? But the mindset is the biggest thing. That's why I decided to work with Jordan, like getting rid of those mental blocks. But yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Yeah.
Probably not.
No, it's just that answers the question just fine. Yeah.
That was a shit answer, bro.
We're here for all the yap.
I just yap, bro. My brain goes like...
Bro, it's getting late.
We're here.
To answer the question, I mean, I agree with all these boys, and I pretty much say like the same thing verbatim. Just to offer like a different perspective though, like we've all kind of said like, oh yeah, like you got to be like, you can't be a bitch or a pussy when you come into it, you have to dedicate everything. But like, I mean, I'm sure we've all had friends that have gotten into the industry thinking like, oh, like they're not going to crack it, they're going to make it, and they always surprise us. So like, I think that everyone's like anyone can do it, right? Like you just have to commit to it yourself, and like in that split moment, commit to making that change. So like for Fonz, he touched on that. The vid, he touched on that. There's definitely been like, we've all had that moment. So yeah, everyone's got it in, and you just got to have to fucking commit to it, do it, dive deep, think of as like why you would want to do this. And if you don't want to, then that's cool. It's not for you. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. One thing I want to add is that I'm not sure how you feel about it coming, but I feel like you can kind of tell the types of guys who are actually about it or not. It's like the guys who are really like, pussy-like, or they're like, oh, I think about it, research.
You don't know those sometimes.
You don't know. Some people change, but it's like for me, I have lots of my friends sort of ask me like what I'm doing if I'm traveling.
Yeah.
I get lots of DMs on Instagram. Only one guy was actually about it, and I finally gave him to you, Samim.
Oh,
Shout out Samim.
Yeah, who should be here. What is it?
Well, yeah, bro.
What does he make now? Like 15K US a month?
Yeah, more.
He'll be
Slightly
doing
more.
20.
Yeah, he'd be doing 20. So.
He hasn't even had a full month yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys would have seen.
He was the
channel.
one guy that's actually about it, and like I said, I joined a course that was like it's not even a thing anymore because it like all went to shit.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know who Connor was. I didn't know anything, but I saw some video on you, and what you said was like, because I was already in this space for maybe 5 months. I was already earning 10K a month then. And everything you said was like exactly my experience. Like, it's not get rich quick. You have to learn the skills. You will be in the trenches. Guaranteed placement, not really a thing.
Yeah.
And you're so genuine up front. I'm like, no, this is the real thing. And I just said, Samim, I think, was on calls with other people. And he's like, oh, what do you think of this? What do you think of this? I was like, oh, not really. I don't even know this guy, but I recommend him. So yeah, that speaks volume. And clearly, like the track record speaks for itself.
Yeah. Samim's crushing it. So yeah.
Let me just add on to that, not to stroke your ego or anything, but I mean, basically Josh as well, like through the months when we were in...
Josh, yeah.
Yeah, I referred Josh, like we were in tech sales and he was like, bro, if you make it, man, I'm right behind you, dude. And he was just like looking at some other offers as well, like other people to work with. And I was like, bro, why don't you just like go with a guy that helped me? And then he obviously booked a call, pulled through, and then literally 2 or 3 months later, he just landed an offer as well on our one. So
in your company,
yeah,
where
exactly.
the top setter's making...
Yeah, like 10K. He'll come straight and he'll make no less than 7. If you're making less than 7, you're getting booted.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to add on to that. For example, Bell, like when I referred him, he just landed an offer that does minimum 24K as a closer, 35K as top. And when did he even start, bro? I swear it's been so little, like short time.
It's been like March, and he's like had different offers. He's developed a lot. And now there's this exponential growth curve. Like you guys will see him as a case on the channel. Maybe in Perth, who knows? Depends how quickly he hits the milestone. But yeah, he's been around like March.
Yeah, and I started last year in July. And he literally watched my journey from 0 to 10 grand a month. I went to the same high school as him. Like Samir went to the same high school as you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I think like just seeing that, he was like, I have to do it. And he hopped on a call with Connor. I don't think he's got more progress than me, to be honest. Like,
he's crushing it.
Probably get there faster than me. Like, and it just goes to show that not only do you know what you're talking about, but like you being in the industry, you can like tell who's gonna make it. And also like if I had to give someone advice that was like a year behind me, I feel like they'd get there 3 months if I just told them what to do, to be honest. And Connor did the exact same thing to me. Like for example, how long did it take you to make your first dollar online, bro? It was like a year or something, right?
Years, actually. Well, high ticket sales, it took me 8 months, something like that.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So I think something I wanted to highlight on there as well is Fonz mentioned a little bit earlier is like you can kind of tell if people have it or not. 100%. Like I talk about all the time on YouTube videos how I have calls with people and I literally tell them, no, I don't think that you should do this, right? Legitimately. Because I know that you're not going to be a good client. I know that you're not going to get results. And the reason why we get such great client results is I work with great people. And so if you're talking to me or my team, like we will know. And sometimes we're going to make the best guesstimate based off the conversation. But like some of you guys said, you can't make that assumption for some people and you kind of just have to let it see it happen. But yeah, I agree with all your thoughts. But
add on to that, like in the RSA, I guess we all know as well that nearly everyone in the space that's like good, like does well, they have some connection to the RSA in some way. I feel like everyone in the RSA has done like well. I feel, or they have some connection to the RSA. So Connor's 100% right. It's the people that make it. It's not like, of course Connor helps out, Jordan helps out, like created the whole thing. But it's like the atmosphere in RSA is like really what makes it.
Out of the 12 in our company, how many are in RSA?
3.
it's just me, Kashi, Benji right now.
yeah.
So like everyone knows Connor.
But everyone knows,
yeah.
Like everyone knows people from RSA.
You're talked about in the whole company.
Yeah.
I'm glad my reputation's good. Yeah.
Just in general, like if you speak in the sales industry and you see like, oh, I know this guy who was in RSA, I know Connor. Like it's very in the industry itself. Like Connor's pretty well known. That's what I found like a couple months in.
Yeah.
Like a year
So
ago.
all the big guys, you're like one link away from Connor, I swear.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
All the guys who are actually crushing it, who are actually getting results, are actually making money.
They're
Like
somehow
one link
connected.
away, yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Which is very cool to see. But guys, thanks for hopping on. I think that was a cool little podcast that we just did. I think the guys will get a lot of value from that content. These guys might build their personal brand in the future. So if they've got different channels and Twitter and YouTube channels and things like that, I'll pop it down below in the description if you guys want to follow them there, you want to connect with them. But otherwise, guys, thanks for hopping on. Appreciate you coming.
Yeah,
So,
appreciate it.
of course. So, sweet guys, hopefully you enjoyed that, and we'll see you in the next video.